It is time again. The Omni X-Men are back. We are here to talk about the Uncanny X-Men Volume 1 Omnibus, the Claremont Volume 1. With me, as always, is Justin from KnowGood Comics.
Yeah, man. John, I am super excited for tonight's issue because I loved it. And I'm ready to dive in. I know there's a lot to talk about, a lot of panels to show. Yeah, it's Tuesday, man. It's our favorite day comes around.
Right? Yeah, I'm a big Sentinels fan. So for those that don't know, issue 98 is a Sentinel Fest. First time that the new team faced down against the evil purple and pink robots. I was very, very excited for this, and it lived up to the hype. So I'm very much looking forward to getting into this one.
Totally. 100%, man.
So for those that don't know, this is a weekly show that Justin and I co-host. He gets the odd numbers. I get the even numbers. We're going back and forth across YouTube here. So make sure you're subscribed to him as well. I put the link to his channel in the description down below. Just make sure you're over there, because next week with issue 99, the follow-up to this issue, you're going to want to be there to see what happens to our favorite mutants.
Heck yeah, man. That was another thing, is just the fact that this issue left you hanging. Whew,
literally. Oh, man. Yeah, right? And I want to get into that, too, because I realized it had been so long since I read this issue. I realized some things connected to great 90s X-Men that I had not previously realized until this week. Okay. So it was a lot of fun.
I have some questions too in this that you might be able to shed some light on. So
we're going to try to keep this to an hour, because I'm jumping from here over to Mr. Comic 89's knockout show, because I got a showdown against Superman versus Darkseid with Burke family. So I got to try to do my best to represent the man in blue. And so I got this guy. I'm going to represent Superman later.
Nice. Busy night.
Yeah. So let's say a little bit of chat. As always, the chat, you have a chance to win great prizes just by hanging out, watching the show, and sticking around to the end to answer those trivia questions we finish with each night. Trivia based on last week's show. So if you watched last week, you hung out with us last week, or maybe you just know some of these things really, really well. Those people that answer quickly in the chat, the first two answerers are entered into various prize pools we'll explain later. So got some gifts coming to those who hang with us.
Oh, yeah. Some goodies.
Comics Kings in the chat. Hello, how you doing? Hopefully going to be joining us here soon for issue 101, that Phoenix first appearance.
Yes, that's right. We're coming up close to that. I can't believe that.
Man, it's coming up fast. Yeah. Magic Lasso in the chat. Hello. Thank you so much for saying the kind words and for hanging out with us.
What's up, Lasso?
Hello, Comic Book Cuber. Good to see you. I'm hoping TJ is not typing because he's eating. He told me he was waiting to have dinner until we went live so that he could have people to hang with. I was just eating, so I'm digesting. It's all happening.
Nice. What's up, Comic Book Cuber? Good to see you.
And let's see here. He says, I will win. The answer is Diana Ross and the Supremes. Look, he's ready to go.
He's already typing the answers.
What is best in life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. Thank you, Conan, with the great life, advice that we can expect.
Yeah, I got to write that down. Huh?
Right? That's the great words of Conan. So let's start off real quickly. Justin, what did you think of this issue? We obviously both really enjoyed it, but what are your overall thoughts and grades for this book?
So I love this issue, and this is an issue that stands out to me. There's a couple specific panels that really stand out to me that I just remembered from the beginning, kind of remembered how it made me feel. One being the panel I sent you last minute, and we'll get into showing some of these off. But overall, I mean, this thing had everything from all the different type of action that you wanted. It gave you what you wanted, right? Because I think back to issue was it 94 going into 95, that we did with Beta Ray Jim, and just kind of like being let down towards the end. This one, you get everything like really right in the middle towards the end. I mean, it's everywhere. And you get Cyclops kicking some ass. You get to see him really ball out. Storm continues to ball out. And then you get Wolverine goes off, which is always great to see. And then as I mentioned earlier, you get to finish off with being left, hanging, and you need to get the next issue, which I always love those. So I give this, I was gonna say a 10 out of 10 for me, John. 10 out of 10.
And I'm probably right there with you, especially with all the little like treats and like hidden nuggets in this issue. I'm right there, 10 out of 10. There's just so much to enjoy in this. There's a couple of moments where I'm like, but I mean, even that, it's like it's nitpick crap that it's like skip it. It's just a good, great issue of comics.
Totally, 100%.
Hello, Climbing Comics is here. Thank you for catching up with us live. Appreciate it.
What's up, Alan?
And TJ is, in fact, having his dinner and hanging out with us at the same time. So thank you, man.
What's up, TJ?
And he's saying 10 out of 10, too. He's right with us on that one.
Double thumbs up. There it is.
Yeah. I was surprised at all the little nuggets in this book. That's going to be a lot of my favorite panels. There were a lot of little trivia bits about this book that I did not realize that I had to learn through doing a little research on this issue that kind of made it all the better for me.
Yeah. And I think that's where I have some questions that hint back to some earlier stuff, but we'll get into that as we kind of cross over to some of that stuff.
Yeah. And I will also say, it's hard to do wrong by me with Sentinels. Like I'm going to generally be very pleased to see, giant purple and pink murder robots fighting mutants. I'm in on all of that.
Yep, 100%. And that's another thing too to point out. Can you hold up that cover again on your side? Let's just take a look at this thing real quick, because just starting off with this is such a killer cover that and keep in mind, for me, getting into X-Men for the first time, I was not like introduced properly to the Sentinels, reading until this story, right? So I never read the earlier stuff than this. I knew of them, and I liked them because of the TV show. And there's some scenes in here that remind me of the cartoon show, that them ripping through the roof and things like that, which will show some panels. That is some of the stuff I remember from the 90s. So look at that cover, man. That is just, it's got everything, even like Wolverine like cutting off the top of the head at the top right corner. So epic, man. You just get everything in that thing.
Yeah, it's so great. And I mean, whoever just decided that they're going to make these evil murder robots pink and purple is like, my God, like you just nailed it. Like, what a great alternative decision. So cool. And yeah, you get everybody doing some good work. Even Colossus with the fall, right? Yeah, great cover. Hello to Ruben Guzman. Hello, thank you for coming by.
Ruben.
And TK, thank you for coming by, man.
What's up, TK?
Last time I got beat up by dudes wearing purple and pink was after some late night drinking. Watch out. Be careful. Sentinels are scary. Even when crazy colored. So should we dive into this issue here?
Yeah, let's do it, man. This is so I don't know how I should have mentioned which order for one of the slides, but we'll go through it how
I'm starting with the one you sent me last, because that's leading into kind of the beginning of this issue.
Okay.
So this is a holiday with the mutants, uncanny Christmas time, if you will, and it all sort of starts at Times Square, or not Times Square, at oh my God, what's it called? Rockefeller. Isn't that Rockefeller?
Yeah, Rockefeller.
And you got the Christmas tree and the ice skating rink and all that great stuff right downtown there. And yeah, the mutants all hanging out. Wolverine with his hair, Storm looking like a full queen with the I don't know, that white mink coat she's wearing. I don't even know what's going on.
She's balling, man.
and Nightcrawler yet again, still doing the Tony Stark tech, appearing to look totally human and out looking for ladies.
Yeah, so I love everything about this particular splash page. This is the scene that really stood out to me, where when I think of issue 98, oddly enough, you would think it'd be like the ones with the Sentinels, but like I think of this page. And a big thing is, for me personally, I'm a big fan of Christmas time and just like that feeling of emotion and stuff, and just that time of year. And I think this really nails it. And it's interesting, they're all like casual, and it's kind of how like last issue started out too. Like they're saying their goodbyes at the airport, and being all casual, and nothing
But
wrong
we know
here.
it's not going to end that way, right?
Right. So it's like, oh, nice and peaceful every issue, and then boom, something crazy happens. Next thing you know, Cyclops is shooting people.
So for me, this all connected to my favorite panels. This little bit right here, I had to like highlight so much goodness here. So for those that are unaware, there is a recurring character in that Bronze Age Marvel that is clearly designed to look like Clark Kent. And that's him right at the bottom there with a blue-haired Lois Lane. And they're walking the city streets right next to our mutant characters. Now, they're not spoken to, they're not given, but later on, there is a Marvel character named Clark Kent who is a reporter who pops in and out of Marvel in the Bronze Age.
Right. Even some more modern books. Didn't he even show up in some modern books? I remember people talking about a Clark Kent kind of showing up in some, maybe like Thor or something like that. But
he shows up in a bunch of Marvel books.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then my favorite is then when Jean and Scott go into the department store and start making out. We have two other awesome cameos from Kirby and Lee. So. In the green coat there, that's Jack Kirby. And in the red coat with the amazing ascot and little cigarette in the pipette there is Stan Lee. And basically Jack Kirby says, hey, Stan, you know who they were? I'll tell you, they never used to do that when we had the book. And then Stan Lee says, Jack, these young kids, they got no respect.
It's so great. It is so great.
So they're right there. There's Jack and Stan just hanging out. Stan legitimately looking like a Hugh Hefner ripoff there. And Jack just looking like a CIA agent played by Robert De Niro or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Was this their first cameo ever in comics? I
don't think so. Okay. But I can't be certain. I just think it was a great throwback to the creators of this comic and a fun way to introduce them in here.
Big time. Yeah, it definitely adds the nice soft humor like we were talking about before. Oh, hey, and there he is.
9.2 of the Stan signature on this book, so perfect there.
Damn, he's killing it.
Did they really look that young then? Who's to say? I don't know that Stanley ever looked young, but that was just my impression. Hello, Life with Two YouTubers. Thank you for coming by.
Hello.
So these were some of my favorite panels. Having Superman, Jack Kirby, and Stan Lee roaming the streets in the holidays while our mutants go by.
Yep.
That was a lot of silly good fun for me.
All within one page.
Yep. Right? Yeah, all of this happened within a page there. They definitely did look young. Absolutely, Chet. Thanks for coming by, Chet, by the way. So those are my favorites. Let's get into Sentinels are the best. Oh my gosh. I love this panel. This looks like an old horror movie poster to me with the slanted diagonal words, the Sentinels have returned, and the roof tearing off, and the people, look at the woman in the bottom looking right at us in horror. Yep. Like there's a giant, scorpion right behind her trying to get her or something from some old 50s horror movie.
It's really true, man. It does look like that.
It's amazing. I love this page. And this would have probably been my panel of the week if it weren't for Jack and Stan showing up in the middle of the department store.
It is hard to top that. This is the scene right here that reminds me of from the 90s. Did you ever watch the 90s cartoon? Right, you were all over that. Yeah. So that was like, that first episode is where we meet the Sentinels, right? And Jubilee's there in the mall or whatever, and they come ripping through the mall. They
go to try to get her at her house, and then she runs to the mall where the mutants are hanging out. The mutants are at the mall, and then it all happens there.
Yep. That is just classic stuff. And just love how the text bubble kind of just opens up at the bottom. It looks so
it's not flat to the page, right? It's like slanted diagonally to the page. Like the letters are receding. It just reminds me of all those great sci-fi movies from the 50s. I just love it. Absolutely.
Yep.
So I love that they chose those creative choices. Make a huge difference here. And look how creepy they look with the eyes you can't see except for the light. And just too cool.
Oh yeah. I mean, imagine being a new reader at that time and just
Oh
like
my
seeing
God.
these things for the first time, other than the cover, I guess.
So I put these 3 pages panels together. You mentioned Cyclops letting loose, and he does let loose.
Yeah.
But you also loved this center panel there with Jean's powers sort of artistically drawn here with the color.
Yep.
You want to talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, that was what really stood out to me, was just the way they illustrated this to show the glaring light that was coming from her body, from her thinking about, I mean, her using her mind powers, like the mental burst that's going towards the top of her head there. Really creative stuff. I mean, that one panel right there, that middle panel, really drew my eye there. And yeah, this whole scene is incredible because it's like, I was trying to think of like when else did we see Cyclops really let loose? And the only other time that jumps to mind is when he takes out the little temple thing that releases the big demon in issue 96.
The obelisk, yeah, destroying the obelisk
yeah.
and setting loose Karok, the shatterer of souls.
Yeah,
luckily, probably the time I've seen him cut loose as much as this.
Right, so he finally like got it right and aimed it towards something that actually mattered, and was able to really let it rip. Once he was like, "Oh, great, they're not part of this. They're not near the city anymore. I can just like let loose." And sure enough, he takes him out. Unfortunately, there's a second one which they kind of highlight in the panels too, where this A3 and A7 Sentinel numbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. The art, there's been several panels the last couple of weeks where they use something a little more cosmic in the style, and this is the one for this issue with the greens and the blues, and her looking almost like she's being scanned for heat signature or something. I just dig the whole look of it. And then the joke of the whole thing is they kill her with a fart. Like they right in her face and gas her, and she's done.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. Yeah.
Right? And the sound effect, PHHHTT.
Yep.
There you go. Got her. Hello, Perry. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out. What's up,
Perry?
The Jackson Roy Kirk says Attack of the 50-foot robots. There you go.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it. And this dress is very key in this issue, Lasso. I'm sure you're well aware.
Oh, yeah.
This dress that Jean is wearing is vital.
Big time.
So, yeah, good fighting with the robots. Who's the biggest douche this week? I'm throwing Banshee under the bus. He still thinks the ladies on this team need his help.
Yeah, it's great.
Point in fact, he's like, Moira, you had Storm fight Nightcrawler and Colossus and warn them. Because if the Sentinels are back, and he's not going to explain to her anything important about what they're fighting, but he's basically telling an Omega level mutant, don't worry, I can yell at these things and I'll take care of it. He doesn't even plan on taking Wolverine. Wolverine just basically grabs on.
Right.
And he's like, you might need some help. Banshee clearly planning on taking on Sentinels on his own.
Yep.
Like, there's not a lot of douchebaggery in this issue. So it's a low bar, or it's a high bar, I mean.
Sure.
But he is as close as we're going to get to it. Just the fact that he's going to diss Storm in this way. Like, just tell her the problem and send her. That's what Professor X did against Kirok, and it worked out just fine. You got to follow that. That's the plan.
Yeah, I was actually hoping, too, that we would see Moira pop back out with another AK-47 and be like, where's the problem this time?
Right? But he would have just stopped fighting and gone and rescued her because she needs help.
Yeah.
So yeah, instead, Storm is still the MVP, just like she's been the last few issues. She's like, "What is going on?" And she decides, you know what? I'm just going to turn into my dominatrix costume, and I'm going to go take care of this, even though I don't know what's going on.
Right? Yeah, she's in the blind.
She rescues Cyclops from falling to his death, and Cyclops is like trying to figure out what's going on, and then of course, giant purple shadow, not a good sign. Because there is the beast, the robot is back, and everybody's telling Aurora, don't do this, don't fight him, and she's just like, I will not be destroyed. Creates the whole hurricane around this thing, and I'm going to finish it out, and then if you want to go back, you let me know.
Yeah.
Over the entire city, like straight out of Ghostbusters, is this lightning storm above the big thunders, the buildings there. Cyclops is saying, Aurora, for pity's sake, stop before you destroy the entire city. And she's like, it is done. There's no need for worry, Scott. I have total control over my abilities. Nothing was harmed save the Sentinel. Just like in his face.
Mm-hmm.
This is called controlling your power.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit about this, buddy.
I don't need glasses like you.
Right? And in the eye of that hurricane, one slight wind-caressed woman who molds this tempest as a master sculptress molds her clay.
So great.
I love it. Absolutely amazing. And yeah, Hurricane Aurora comes to New York and takes out a Sentinel.
Oh, yeah. I love even just that middle panel, seeing the purple lining of like the winds, beneath her, and how they illustrate that, pretty much any time that they're demonstrating her powers. And that thing in the sky, that lightning and how the sky's like opening up in this whirlwind of, all this mixture of different stuff going on. It looks awesome. Could you go back for a second?
Yeah, Chet says she has full control, puts him in his place. And he mentioned it earlier, too. He knew what was coming. Do you want this one or the one before?
This one right here. So I also like, too, how you see the Sentinel like drowning, basically, and his mouth is open on the right side, with these winds taking him out. And just her face, her eyes, the way they draw her eyes there, that is badass, man. That is like, yeah.
That cosmic energy, right?
It's so epic. It really is. You really get drawn into a lot of that stuff with like, feeling her power there.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Old Wolf and Super Russ. Thank you for coming by. How's it going?
What's up, fellas?
Yeah, the eyes, that little bit of cosmic like energy is so cool.
Yeah, it'd be a pretty sweet poster. Like even just some of these panels, I could pick
any one of them. And honestly, they're all gold.
Yep. Big time.
All right, so let's get past Storm because we could spend there all day. But the Sentinels even ruin Professor X's fishing trip. He's been out on the ocean having a good time, and Sentinels arrive. First, they catch his whatever he reels in a Sentinel, and then I love the panel on the right when it's actually blasting up through their boat like full Phoenix from the Ashes style.
Oh yeah, yeah, they do that a lot.
And even the background is similar. The yellow with the streaking lines coming through. Hilarious.
Yeah, that's a great panel. I think now, thinking back to last issue too, all these big, first we had planes being destroyed. Now we got boats being destroyed. Also, I guess technically, if we wanted to revisit douchebag of the week or of the issue, this is kind of a douchebaggery thing to do when you're on vacation. You're just trying to fish, you're just having a good time, and then out of nowhere things get ruined. You think you have a bite. Yeah, he thinks he's actually catching something, and now you're like about to die. It's like, so
maybe the Sentinels, right?
Yeah, I think we could
ruining Christmas shopping and a fishing trip.
Seriously,
come on, couldn't pick a better time for this,
really.
But I had to catch us up to date on what's going on with Professor X and his boat, and I love the guy flying off to the side as the boat gets destroyed. He just looks like he's doing a gainer or something. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Comics King said this is probably my favorite Sentinel story until they got overused countless times. There you go. Maybe it's a great issue. We were talking at the top of the story.
Yep.
So now we're all captured, brought to the evil lair of this guy, something strange. Lang, and Stephen Lang. That says right there.
Stephen Lang,
And he's threatening and taunting them all. They're all tied up. Professor X is in some kind of a tube there on the far right. They've got Jean with some kind of headgear to keep her from using her powers, I assume. And they've got Banshee with some kind of headgear to keep him from using his powers. And they're just taunting them. And, of course, it's all fine and good until you slap Jeannie across the face. And that's when Wolverine gets to try and save them all.
See, what makes me wonder is if he didn't slap her, was Wolverine going to do this anyways, or was he going to just go along with like the whole spiel?
Right. See, now all the other up to now, people know that Wolverine's claws were always thought of as part of his gloves until this moment right here when he's breaking out. Sorry, mouse across the way there. He breaks out of the manacles that are holding him, and he says, "That tears it. You could dump on me and Banshee all you like, but when you beat on the lady, that's when you answer to the Wolverine."
Yeah.
And, he gets to cut loose. He's not playing around.
Yeah, and this is the first time we really get to see his face, right?
I don't actually know. That's an interesting question. If anybody knows, I thought we've seen him out of uniform at different points up to. I mean, obviously Christmas when they were walking the streets, we saw him without his mask.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
In this issue, but that's further in this issue. I'm sure we must have.
We must have. Yeah, I guess so. Now I'm thinking about the brown jacket. I think maybe we've already seen him with that. But
so yeah, he just tears into these guys. They try to set loose a Sentinel on him. He's like, "Oh, so that's the name of the game. Fine with me, bub. This time I got my feet on the ground." He jumps up and just tears into this thing. He does basically comment on the fact that they got captured and we didn't get to see it happen. Banshee and Wolverine got captured off screen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
There's definitely so much in this issue that's clearly something that got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah. Another thing too, Lang here at the bottom yelling, alive if you can, dead if you must. It's a little greedy of him in this position. Right. I mean, you got this guy who's killing all your dudes like it's nothing with, forks for hands, and and you're like, hey, keep this crazy man alive if you can. But
I kind of want him.
I kind of want to keep him. Like, they're like, sir, we're dead. We can't.
Now this has been this issue, and then what was it, 96? It's been 2 issues where Wolverine's been finally cutting loose. He does one round on Kirok that's pretty awesome, and then now he's taking on Sentinels. It's kind of nice to see a little bit of the berserker that we know and love these days.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I love that, just seeing him slash through the arm there.
Chivalry isn't dead. Give Banshee a break.
TJ.
Is it chivalry? I don't know. That's hard to know. He's also practicing fashion sense. And when they're all set and free, getting back in their uniforms, Jean does not have hers, and she's trying to tear her dress, her fancy evening gown, so that she can fight a little easier. And Wolverine just grabs it and rips it. No claws needed. Just rips it so that it's an incredibly short skirt. And then he says, "Anytime, Red."
Yeah, look at that smirk on his face.
Oh, man. That's definitely not chivalry. I don't know quite what that one is, but it's hilarious. His face is in... his face first is this issue. Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
So you're right. Justin called it.
I thought I read it somewhere.
Logan's, and we realized that his hair actually fits into those little pieces.
Nice.
It's not just shaped that way because it looks cool. It's actually practical for his hair. All right. So again, nothing better than Sentinels versus X-Men. Here we get to see Banshee, Jean, and Logan all kind of just tearing at these guys. Logan ripping somebody's face off. Jean went full heat sensor again with her little yellow and green lights coming off. She takes out 2 right there with one blast. And Banshee blasting them all. And then eventually Banshee grabbing both of them and trying to fly out of this place.
Yeah, I like the guy that's holding his head as Banshee flies over it.
So good.
Yeah, that's great.
So, I mean, anytime you get this kind of action with Sentinels and mutants, I think you're setting yourself up for something good.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's the thought of it's crazy too, because it's just like, when will it end? Like, how many of these guys they can ascend? Can the X-Men keep up with this? Is Wolverine cutting off a head? Is that what that?
He definitely is chopping a head or face off of one of those for sure.
That's awesome.
Hello, Mark the Cuddy Sark. Good day, sir.
Hey, Mark.
So this brings us to this ending.
Oh yeah.
Banshee's thinking he's going to break through this wall and get them outside of this castle that they're in. Turns out they are in outer space. They are not on Earth at all, says Cyclops when he's realizing where they are and why Cerebro can't find Jean.
That's right. They had that whole couple side panels of figuring out.
Yeah, I chose to cut all of the Xavier's buddy stuff. I mean, that guy, I don't need him. But I do love this final panel here. A ton. And I'll tell you why. So I know you haven't read a lot of 90s X-Men at this point.
No.
There's a 90s event saga called The Executioner's Song. And there's a villain named Strife who kidnaps Jean and Scott because he wants their genetic code because he knows their children are important in the future. Mm-hmm. They have many children interconnected in the Marvel universe, and the Summers family is that genetic code is very valuable. So he kidnaps them, and our guys are looking for them and can't find them. And this is what the page looks like. So this is Uncanny X-Men 296. And Scott and Jean are trying to escape, and they blast through a wall only to find they're on the moon in outer space.
Oh, okay.
And the quote, you can kind of read up at the top there, says they're not on Earth at all. It's literally the exact same line, but this time said by Wolverine, who is figuring out where they are. If you look, they're somewhat similar. If you want to see them together, there they are.
Oh, wow.
Kind of cool. Even the hand that Cyclops is holding up, and Jean is in basically the same spot in both panels. Right. And the quote is there the same. They're not on the Earth at all.
That is great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was pumped when I read it. I was like, oh my gosh, this totally reminds me of stuff I read the night. So that's Uncanny X-Men 296, part of the Executioner's song, right near the end of the 12-issue storyline.
Damn.
So,
I have a ways to go to get there.
Go back to that last page when they're flying out at the way they execute exit velocity, right? He's talking about this one where the screaming is happening and that guy's holding his head in pain as they blast their way out. A lot of good motion blur going on there.
Oh yeah.
Now, I thought that was cool. I loved the 90s X-Men. I read a ton of this stuff. So Executioner's Song Part 9, I've read this issue a ton. And it's cool to see what those writers were referencing so clearly.
Right. And is that Wolverine?
Thanks, Jay. If Chet says that, then that's a good compliment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys. I feel good about that. Sorry, what were you saying?
That's Wolverine, right? His head floating there in the right hand.
No, that's Strife.
That's Strife. Oh, okay.
The villain who has captured them and done the evil to them in the storyline. He's a villain that shows up more often connected with X-Force and Cable. Okay. But in this particular storyline, he's captured the two of them and tried to murder several other people as well, as bad guys, want.
Right.
So anyways, I just wanted to share that. That's awesome. Is this a second appearance?
Oh,
here we had the discussion last time, and Justin said, remember, save that first appearance. So the one on the bottom right is the first appearance of Lilandra with a crazy mask on her face. Then apparently this would have to be her second appearance because we have another little dream moment from Xavier picturing Lilandra in her space helmet again.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch.
You're telling me. I definitely believe these could hardly be even called cameos, but maybe they are. I don't know. So there's Lilandra's first and second appearances, one panel each, shadowy face behind a glass space suit. Yeah. Sorry, you want to go back to that one or no?
I just wanted to ask the guy that's what's his name, Peter Carbo, or whatever.
Yeah, the ship captain.
So did you know the rereferences that they were talking about for the Hulk series that they?
I don't. No, I don't know what that all is. So the guy who's the ship captain for Xavier's fishing trip is connected to the Hulk, and there's some kind of connection there that allows him to be friends with Xavier, or at least know him well enough to take him on a fishing trip.
Right. Yeah, I just saw them note something about Project Starcore or something like that, and I didn't know if that's something that was really well known. I mean, I'm sure it was for anyone reading Hulk at that time. I
would ask Jeffrey, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know that guy, so I'm like, it's just the guy. It's the skipper. It's just the skipper.
Gotcha.
All right, let's see here. So this some of the facts here. We got our second cameo appearance of Lilandra. We learned that Wolverine's claws are revealed to be part of his body. And like we showed at the beginning, there are cameos from Clark Kent, Stan Lee, and Jack Kirby. Also, an early appearance of Nightcrawler's girlfriend, Amanda Sefton, which I believe is one of the ladies that he's scoping on in his new appearance at the beginning of this book.
Oh, okay. So I was wondering.
Well, a little something to think about there. Shout out to TJ who gives us the Go Collect breakdown information for the value of the book and the number of slabbed copies at each grade so that we can kind of give you guys some information that might help you if you are hunting for any of these books or just want to understand where the market is on these all new, all different X-Men books.
Yeah, thanks TJ for doing this.
So 9.8 and a 9.6, we are again looking at a huge differential between the two, mostly because there are only 37 total 9.8s in the CGC census. 37, and there are 98 9.6s and 185 9.4s.
Oh, wow.
So you really start seeing that there's a ton of them, a ton of issues in the 9.4 to 8.0 range. There's about 150 at each level or more. And the 9.8s go for $1,650 versus $375 for a 9.6.
Oh, wow.
So you're talking about almost 5 times the cost to go from a 9.6 to a 9.8.
I imagine this is also a tough issue to kind of find in that perfect condition because of the darker, edges that it has. Tough to find those without.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Yeah, but we've noticed that I think there's been 3 so far that have that ×5 multiplier.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it comes to 9, because usually you get a ×2 or maybe a ×3, but a ×5 I think is somewhat rare. And to see it a few times in these early, issues, the late 90s of X-Men is kind of shocking to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Agreed.
Chet says, I'm really tired of the Yankees. This book is hard to find, high grade, raw, and cheap. There you go. Azores, hello. Thanks for coming by, man.
Hey, what's up, brother?
So let's see. When you get down to lower grades, there's a ton of books priced, but in the 8.0 and down, you find for $60-$80, you can find a bunch. It's just a matter of how good a copy is it. If you can find a really high grade raw copy, like Chet is saying, it's probably worth it to slab it and see if you can get up into the mid high 9s, because the jump in value will be significant. Forget about getting a 9.8, but even getting up into the 9.4, 9.6 range. If you can do it.
Man, yeah, that is this would be a nice book to have in a 9.8 for sure.
Oh, my God. As you heard in the chat, I think TJ and Chet mentioning they've got in the 9.4, 9.6 range on this book. So congrats to those gentlemen for sure.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Hello to DJ Sick Rick and Ricky Markstad. Thank you for coming by. We're sort of wrapping up our information here on X-Men, all new, all different 98, giving you some price ideas. So yeah, $1,600 for a 9.8, $375 for a 9.6, all the way down into the 60s when you talk about a 6.0 and below.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, not bad. I mean, I think considering the age and everything, I think it's not bad.
Yeah, this would be a great book to get have owned, as Chet was saying, have it signed by Stan. It's just, even if you could get it, have it signed by Jack too, would have been really cool
for sure. Because they're both in it, so that would be a cool thing. So there you go. That's the end of that. I'll stop sharing here. We can get back to you and I. It's an amazing book story wise. I think it's got some significance plot wise long term. Not a huge spec book, not like some huge first appearances or anything like that. But it's the first time the new team faces the Sentinels, which I think is an important issue overall. Jackson Roy Kirk says he's got a 9.6. Boom.
Oh wow. That is awesome.
John is giving this away next week. No. 9.6 to 9.8. That is crazy as last week's. Yeah, right. There's definitely been a bunch the last few weeks that jump up. And if you find it raw,
read it.
Read it a couple times. Let the kids read it, and then no. 9.4 is near mint. This is fact, and I learned that. It's true.
Yep.
So let's any wrap up last thoughts you got on this issue? Anything you want to say about it?
Just highly recommend you read it if you haven't, and I'm looking forward to next issue. See where these guys land and end up.
And then issue number 100, we're gonna have I Got Issues. So when we're back on my channel, we got our first guest in a little hot minute, and Chris is gonna join us to talk about issue 100. 99 is going to be on Justin's next week, so make sure you click down below and sub to his channel. But we're going to get to our trivia now. Each week, we spend a little time asking you in the chat some questions about what happened last week when we read the previous issue. Sometimes it's about what you see on screen. Sometimes it's about what's in the book and the things that we mention. So you gotta watch and you gotta pay attention. I've got an overall scoreboard that I'm keeping track of here. And the other list is one that Justin is keeping. He is keeping a raffle ticket for every first place answer to all of our questions.
Yeah.
And then he is going to draw a name from the raffle, and that person's going to win Omnibus Volume 2.
Number 2. That's right.
Then I'm going to go to the scoreboard, and we're going to pick the highest winner on the scoreboard who didn't win on the raffle. So if the number one person in both is the winner of the Omni, then the second place person will get the prize from me, which is going to be an X-Men mystery box from me.
Sweet. It's a good deal. I notice Beta is not in the chat, so
I haven't seen him. I know.
I give some room for other people to catch up a little bit. Yeah.
Some people gonna make their way in here and try to rise their way up the list. It is very tight with I Got Issues in first, Beta, Ray, Jim in second, and then a whole crew there in the third place that could definitely work their way up. So, Old Wolf, you've got to answer questions based on last week's episode. We're gonna ask 4 of them. The deal is first place gets 2 points and on the scoreboard and gets a raffle ticket.
Yep.
Second place answer who gets it right gets 1 point on the scoreboard. So even if you just copy and paste the correct answer and come in second, you can still get yourself on that leaderboard and start working your way up point-wise.
Yep. Yeah, so don't hold back on even if someone else answers the question first.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
So do you want to go first or second this time, Justin?
I'll go first.
All right.
My first question is, which Avenger did Nightcrawler's disguise remind John of? We saw Nightcrawler's disguise last issue, and John said that reminded him of somebody, and that somebody was part of the Avengers. Which Avenger is that? We gotta get some theme music going here.
Yeah.
In between some of these. If you think about it, depending on what time period you're trying to think of the Avengers, there's a lot of different characters. A
lot of options. A lot of options for sure. Ooh, I already got first 2 answers here, and it hasn't popped up in the stream yet. There it is.
Boom.
Raffle ticket winner.
Man, Issues on it again.
He's tough to beat. He's quick on the draw.
Yep.
But Jackson Roy Kirk getting a bonus point, coming in strong, holding on to that third place on the overall. And look,
nice.
Everybody's calling it as Tony Stark. Absolutely. Tony Stank.
That was great.
Oh, yeah. We didn't actually vote on whether or not the best comedy answer would get a raffle point or a scoreboard.
We gotta do something for that. Yeah. How are we doing that?
I feel like I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna give a point for the funniest answer. So TJ, you're getting a point just for that one right there.
I like that.
Starting tonight. That was very funny.
Nice. Good deal.
All right. My first question is about the issue we read last time. A big airport battle, lots of action going on at the airport. However, 2 mutants showed up late to the fight. Who were they? Late does not go well with battle.
No, it usually does not.
You want your guys on time. So when 2 people show up late, that is a problem. That is a little bit. Big problem. Do not want late. We do not abide lateness. And boom, man, unstoppable.
There it is.
With the raffle point and the first place answer, and Jackson Roy Kirk.
Nice.
Coming on strong, still staying in it, trying to chase down that Beta Ray Jim. It was Banshee and Wolverine, you betcha.
Yep.
Slow pokes.
Oh.
Showing up capital L late. But thankfully, Xavier was already on vacation, so he didn't care.
Yeah. He's like, I'm already on my plane. I'm out.
Right? I'm busy fishing.
Take care of it.
All right, so more raffle tickets for the issues, man. Let's see what we're going for. Question 3.
Nice. Next one for me is really, I'm looking for 2 answers here, but you have to put both names. Name the 2 people that Cyclops backhands in last week's issue. We talked about the classic joke of what did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. and there were 2 of them that got backhanded. So let's see if anybody can name those 2 character names.
There's my comedy joke. Old Wolf gets a point.
Nice.
Okay. Let's see. There you go.
Oh,
I see 1 correct answer. And there it is. Number
Nice,
2. So correct answer first went to I Got Issues.
Issues
It was-
again.
He beat his brother and then he slapped Logan around. Usually you don't want to hit somebody with an adamantium skull, but sometimes somebody's asking for it. You just got to give them. You got to give it to them.
Yeah,
And
he
that gets a point.
Cyclops really got away with that stuff too. He didn't really get punished for either of those.
This is a joke that never gets old. Diana Ross and one of the Supremes. So Lasso gets a comedy point.
Nice.
There you go. Always happy to have some comedians in the chat. And then that brings us to our last question. This question is more about decorations for the show. I had a bunch of books behind me last week. There was an Avenger who appeared on 2 covers last week behind me. One Avenger was on 2 covers. Can you name the Avenger?
I'm telling you, you got to pay attention to all these background images and books and posters. You never know what's going to pop up.
Could be anything. Anything.
T-shirts, things like that. Yep.
I wear this Soldier shirt a lot, so I get it. If people are like, okay, I get it. I'm tired of that shirt. All right.
Oh,
I see the answers. It was the Incredible Hulk fighting the Thing and fighting Namor. He was really laying out the smack. Issues dominated tonight.
Wow.
This is why we need him on the show in 2 weeks, so he can't answer any questions.
I was just thinking that kind of that's going to slow him down a little bit. He's on
Wolf
fire.
gets a point right there.
Nice, very nice. So Old Wolf's got a couple now coming in.
He's got 2 points.
Yep.
Hard to get. He's got to get up there to Jackson Roy Kirk, who's holding down 3rd place, and Beta Ray Jim missed a night, and it's going to cost him.
Nice.
And I don't see a good comedic joke, so I'll wait for a comedic joke. Unstoppable. The god of comedy. I finally got on the board. You are no later than Banshee and Wolverine to the important fight at the airport.
I was just going to say that. What's up, Brad?
All right. So that is the raffle questions for this round. And I just want to thank everybody who comes by, because I feel like we get a nice crowd of friends in here that are all either interested in the X-Men or just want to have a good time laughing at Bronze Age history, because it is fun to poke a little joy into these kind of things.
Definitely.
And it's nice to share that with all you guys. The D-bags of the last issue last time was everybody, right? Definitely. Because they blew up an airport. I'm just going to say they blew up an airport.
And they just assumed that no one was on that other airplane.
Yeah, they blew it up and then later said, "Oh, I don't think there. No, there was nobody. It was automatic pilot." So thank you all for hanging in the chat and doing this and joking around with us, and hopefully enjoying, learning a little something about fun X-Men books.
Yeah, man. Really appreciate all you guys always hanging out, swinging by. Also, those watching the replay. I know that there's people that reach out to me later. They, say they really enjoy the show. So always appreciate you guys taking the time to catch up on this if you missed the live.
Chet says he's got to go, but don't touch your books. Stay mutant and proud.
Love it. So
Justin,
next.
You got a bunch of stuff you've been dropping on your channel lately, a bunch of content and things happening. Do you want to shout anything out that's coming up or that you dropped recently?
Yeah, just have my Comic Collector Origin show, sticking to every Saturday. So if you guys get a chance, swing by. We share some origin stories of some of the comic community, and I have Raging Cajun Comics on my as my next guest. So if you guys follow him over on Instagram, he's a really cool dude. So yeah, looking forward to it. That'll be Saturday 2:00. And yeah, it's kind of all I need to open up. I have some boxes that I need to get to. Oh, I meant to ask you, and we won't get too much.
I saw the video of your dad when you were unboxing the amazing.
I forgot about that
artwork. I didn't say anything because I know that you probably got like 10 people messaging you saying, Can you make me a piece? Can you make me something? Can I get something? How can I get? How do I get on that list? How do I get something?
Totally meant to bring that up. Yeah, that you saw that piece? My gosh, so
dude.
Killer, man.
So yeah, if you don't know Justin's dad, I mean, he is an incredibly talented comic book artist in his own right. And he made an awesome Daredevil piece for Justin.
Yeah, it was dope. Original Daredevil.
Awesome. He was in the chat. I love your dad was in the chat talking to everybody.
He's hanging out talking.
It was hilarious.
Oh man, yeah, go check that video out. That's up on the page right now too. That was epic.
Oh,
good stuff.
I was laughing so hard. I caught the replay. I wasn't able to be there live.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's cool. Yeah, good times. It was good times. Definitely, I got to get something to hang it now. I got to measure it and everything, but get a frame.
It's a beautiful piece of art, absolutely, and what a cool character, and the pose and the light, like it was.
The whole, the full body, like flexing.
Man. Yeah, sorry I didn't leave a comment, but I did watch.
No,
obviously I watched.
Good stuff. Yeah, and don't forget, guys, next week will be on my channel, so we'll be going over 99
issue 99, the last 2-digit one that we're going to be covering.
Yeah, geez,
it's all hundreds from here on out.
We're cruising here,
man. I know, I feel like we just started and we're already to issue almost 100.
Yeah. What do you have going on? I know you're about to jump into something else. What is that again that you're
jumping over to Mr. Comics 89's channel, and Matt has been doing this show called The Knockout, where he has people from the community come on and argue who would beat who, and then if you win, you go to the next round. I played the Justice League versus the Avengers, and I was the Justice League. I picked my Justice League versus the MCU Avengers, and of course I annihilated them. And now I had to pick one of my Justice League members to go against Darkseid with Burke Family. And Burke Family's got Darkseid. I picked Superman. So it's going to be a classic comic book battle for the ages. And we'll be going on his channel in about 10 minutes. I'm also dropping a new weekly video on my pull list. So Thursday, you'll see what I'm buying next week. And you can get a sense of what's coming ahead and maybe the stuff that I'm buying that you can think is absolutely crazy or that you dig.
Yep. Very cool. Very cool. A lot of good stuff coming up, John.
Yeah, man. So be back here next week on Justin's channel, issue 99. And until then, stay mutant, everybody.
See you later.